The hidden portals, how unseen corners in your home can drain your spirit. There are places in your home right now, quiet, ordinary, familiar, that are secretly working against your spiritual growth. Spaces that look harmless but act like energetic black holes. They pull at your vibration. They whisper anxiety into your thoughts. They cloud your intuition. And the worst part, most of us walk past them every day, never realizing the invisible impact they have. I know this because I've lived it. And I've watched countless people stay stuck spiritually, not because of their lack of effort, but because their environment was silently sabotaging them. We often think that spiritual warfare happens in temples, in forests, on mountaintops. But the truth is, it begins in the home. The home is your first altar, your most intimate sanctuary. And if your sanctuary is compromised, your connection to Source weakens. That's why we must become radically aware of where we place our energy and where we lose it. Have you ever walked into a room and felt your mood shift without knowing why? That's not just emotion, it's energy intelligence. Your body knows the truth, even when your mind can't explain it. The question is, are you listening? One of the first places I always ask people to check is the space under their bed. It seems trivial. It's where we store shoes, boxes, old memories. But in spiritual reality, this is where your subconscious sleeps. The bed is your portal to the astral, to dream worlds, to rest, to visions. And when there is clutter, forgotten grief, or stagnant objects beneath it, your spirit cannot fully recharge. You wake up tired. You dream of confusion. You feel heavy without knowing why. What's under your bed right now? And more importantly, what energy is it holding for you? Then there's the infamous junk drawer or clutter corner. Every home has one. A place where broken objects, dead batteries, old documents, tangled cords gather dust. It's the graveyard of forgotten decisions. But energetically, it's more than disorganization. It's symbolic stagnation. It's the physical manifestation of mental noise. Every time your eyes pass over it, your subconscious registers it as unfinished business. And when your home is full of these micro reminders of chaos, your soul can't fully enter a state of peace. You are constantly in low-level energetic anxiety, and you probably don't even realize it. Another place we overlook is the hallway. Spiritually, hallways represent transition, movement, the in-between. But when they're narrow, dark, cluttered, or poorly lit, they become energetic bottlenecks. They slow down the flow of Kai. They trap thoughts. They keep you in between choices. Have you ever felt stuck in life, unable to move forward, yet unsure why? Look at your hallway. Is it clear? Is it honoring movement? Or is it echoing indecision? Could it be that your own environment is keeping you in limbo? Bathrooms are another paradox. They are places of release, cleansing, and detoxification. But they can also be places of spiritual leakage. Water is a powerful conductor of energy. Every time you flush, you're symbolically releasing something. But if your bathroom is chaotic, dirty, or full of products with low vibrational ingredients, then you're not cleansing, you're absorbing. You're sitting in energy that should have been let go long ago. Even the placement of your toilet in relation to your bedroom matters. If it faces your bed directly, it can drain your energy while you sleep. Have you ever thought about that? And then there's the mirror. The mirror is a portal. Ancient traditions have always known this. It reflects not just your image, but your energy field. A mirror facing your bed, for example, can create restless sleep. spiritual interference, and even attract unwanted entities. A mirror in a hallway can double the confusion of that space. But the most dangerous mirror is the uncleansed one, the one layered with dust, fingerprints, and emotional residue. Because what it reflects is not just your physical form, but your energetic distortion. When was the last time you spiritually cleansed your mirrors? Finally, let's talk about the storage closet, the forgotten room, the place of "I'll deal with it later." But spiritually, this is the room of denial. Everything you shove in there is energy you're not willing or ready to face. Old clothes, childhood objects, gifts from relationships that ended badly. Each item holds memory, and memory is energy. When you keep objects with unresolved emotions, you are keeping the frequency of those emotions inside your home. You may have moved on mentally, but your house is still grieving, still angry, still stuck. Can you feel that? Can you name what your closet is still holding on to? Now pause with me. Really pause. Close your eyes and ask yourself one question. What part of my home do I avoid the most, and why? That answer may unlock something deeper than you expect. Because your home is a mirror of your inner world. The chaos outside reflects the chaos within. The silence outside reflects the silence within. To raise your vibration, you don't just need to meditate. You need to purify your space. You need to reclaim every corner, every surface, every shadow. Because your home is not just where you live, it's where your spirit breathes. The invisible imprints, how emotional residue in your home silently shapes your life. We often think that energy is only about crystals, chants, or incense. But the truth is, energy is in everything, especially the emotions that once lived in a space. Every argument, every breakdown leaves behind a kind of psychic fingerprint. And while you may have moved on, the imprint remains unless it is consciously cleared. Your home becomes an emotional museum, and unless you are regularly curating what stays and what leaves, you will find yourself reliving cycles that no longer belong to you. Have you ever noticed how a room where something painful happened seems to feel different? That isn't your imagination. That's residual energy. Let's talk about the kitchen. It's the heart of the home, the place where nourishment begins. But what most people don't realize is that the energy in your kitchen directly influences your relationship with receiving. If your kitchen is cluttered, neglected, or cold, you may notice a pattern of scarcity or resistance to abundance. Why? Because the kitchen is where we symbolically prepare to receive life force. It's where gratitude, nourishment, and care are supposed to live. But if you cook in stress, eat in rush, or store expired, low vibrational food, your body starts to mirror that chaotic relationship with life itself. When was the last time you truly honored your kitchen as a sacred space? Now look at the doorways. Every entrance is a threshold, a crossing point between the seen and unseen. Doorways hold power. And if they are misaligned, squeaky, blocked, dirty, or cluttered, they can distort the energy flow into your life. It's not just about feng shui, it's about energetic permission. A blocked doorway can symbolize blocked opportunities. A door that never quite closes can reflect unresolved boundaries. Think deeply here. What kind of energy are you allowing into your life through your door? What kind of invitations are you unconsciously sending out? The attic and the basement, two of the most energetically loaded spaces in any home. The attic holds the energy of the past, the stories, the lineage, the memories we've stored out of sight, out of mind. But energy doesn't forget. If your attic is filled with unresolved family history, old furniture, boxes of grief and guilt, your crown chakra may feel congested. You may struggle with overthinking, spiritual disconnection, or ancestral burdens. The basement, meanwhile, holds your subconscious. It's the root chakra territory. If it's damp, dark, neglected, or full of forgotten or broken things, it often correlates with fear, survival anxiety, or suppressed trauma. Have you ever considered that your spiritual blockages may not be in your head, but beneath your feet? Your workspace, whether it's a home office or a creative corner, is a sacred altar of manifestation. This is where thought becomes form. So ask yourself, is this space aligned with your current vision or your old identity? Many of us keep workspaces that reflect who we used to be, not who we are becoming. Old notebooks filled with outdated dreams, files from jobs we hated, objects from a past self that no longer exists. These items hold frequency. And if you're trying to create a new life while sitting in the energy of your old one, it will always feel like you're pushing against an invisible wall. What are you still holding on to that's holding you back? The laundry area is one of the most overlooked energetic zones, yet it represents cleansing cycles. If your laundry pile is constantly overflowing or your washer and dryer are always behind, you may be unconsciously resisting emotional release. Clean clothes represent renewal. The act of washing is symbolic of spiritual purification. But when we treat it as a chore rather than a ritual, we begin to collect stagnant emotional debris. The same shirt that held stress from a hard day at work still carries that energy unless it's intentionally cleared. This is why so many spiritual traditions emphasize cleansing garments, because your clothing holds emotional residue too. And finally, let's talk about the bedroom again, but this time from the lens of relationships. The bedroom is the temple of intimacy. Whether you're single or partnered, this room reflects your relationship with connection. If you've had painful breakups here, if you've cried yourself to sleep here, if you've shared the space with someone who no longer matches your frequency, the energy still lingers. And unless you've done the spiritual work to clear it, you may notice patterns repeating themselves without logical explanation. You attract similar partners. You feel unsafe to open. You sleep poorly. Why? Because your sacred space still echoes the past. What would it look like to reconsecrate your bedroom as a sanctuary of love, not memory? So let me ask you a question that only your soul can answer. What energy are you still living with that you've long since emotionally outgrown? Your home is a living entity. It listens. It stores. It reflects. And when you begin to interact with it as a spiritual mirror, you'll find that healing doesn't just happen inside of you. It begins to radiate from the walls outward. Every shelf, every floorboard, every light switch becomes a choice, a declaration, a portal. Will you keep living in a house filled with ghosts of who you used to be? Or will you reclaim every inch of your space as a sanctuary of elevation? The Sacred Reset. How to spiritually reclaim your home and rewire your reality. Now that you've seen where your energy is leaking, where it's being held hostage, or where it's being distorted, the next step is not just repair, it's rebirth. This is where the sacred reset begins. We don't just cleanse to remove energy, we cleanse to call power back. We don't just declutter to make space, we declutter to make room for new frequency. Your home is not just a shelter, it's a spiritual transmitter. Every object, every scent, every sound is either raising your vibration or lowering it. So we begin the reclamation by becoming deliberate architects of frequency. What you allow into your space, you allow into your field, and what you allow into your field shapes your destiny. Start with sound. Sound is the first frequency. It's vibration in its purest, most primal form. Before you move anything physically, you move it energetically. Clap your hands in the corners of your rooms. Ring a bell. Use singing bowls or mantras. You'll notice something strange. Some spaces will echo clearly, while others feel dense. That's where energy is stuck. That's where spiritual dust has settled. Sound breaks it up. It reminds the space that it is alive, that it's being seen. Even just walking through your home humming a sacred tone can shift the vibration. You don't need expensive tools. Your voice, your intention, your awareness, these are ancient technologies. Then go to scent. Your sense of smell is directly wired to memory and emotion. That's why certain smells can instantly transport you to childhood, heartbreak, or peace. Use that power. Burn sacred herbs like sage, palo santo, lavender, or rosemary. But don't just burn them, pray while you do it. Set intention. Speak to the space. This is a home of peace. This is a sanctuary of divine love. Nothing that does not match this frequency may remain here. Say it out loud. Your words are spells. Your breath is a blessing. The smoke becomes your messenger, and the space will respond. Now look at the light. Light is consciousness. Wherever there is darkness, literal or symbolic, bring light. Open all blinds. Let the sun kiss the corners of your house that haven't seen it in weeks. Clean your windows. Replace dim or broken bulbs. If you can, introduce candles or soft lighting at night to mimic the glow of firelight. Ancestrally, fire was our first altar. Even a single flame can remind your spirit, I am alive. I am aware. I am awake. Light transforms a room from a container of memory into a temple of presence, and you deserve to live in nothing less than a temple. Objects must also be reckoned with. Go room by room and ask yourself, does this object reflect who I am becoming or who I used to be? Don't keep anything out of guilt, fear, or nostalgia alone. Nostalgia is not always sacred. It can be a trap. If you keep things that belong to a version of you that no longer exists, you will stay energetically anchored to that version. Release with reverence. Donate with dignity. Burn old letters if needed. Let go with love. You are not throwing something away. You are liberating your future. You are making your home a vibrational match for your evolution. Now, let's talk about sacred placement. Once you've released what no longer serves, you must rebuild. Create altars. Not just one, but many. A corner with a candle and a flower becomes an altar of beauty. A shelf with your journal and crystal becomes an altar of truth. A small bowl of water near your bed becomes an altar of dreams. You don't need religion to make something sacred. You just need presence. When your home is filled with conscious touch points, places where you intentionally remember your spirit, you start to live in ceremony. Your life becomes the prayer. One of the most powerful resets you can do is a full moon or new moon home cleanse. On the new moon, set intentions, write them down, place them on your altar. Clean with salt water, sweep out old energy, and call in the new. On the full moon, release. Burn what needs to be closed. Let go of what is no longer aligned. Use lunar cycles. Nature has a rhythm. Your home should too. When your home is synced with cosmic timing, you begin to feel supported by something much larger than yourself. You're not just cleaning, you're co-creating with the universe. Let me ask you something that might shift everything. What would your home look like if it was designed not for status or style, but for your soul's highest frequency? Would there be more silence, more color, more space, more nature? Would you let go of the things you keep just to impress others? Would you finally give yourself permission to create a space that heals you every time you walk through the door? That's the sacred reset. It's not about perfection, it's about alignment. When your space is aligned with your spirit, your life begins to flow in ways you never imagined. Synchronicity increases. Clarity returns. Peace becomes normal. And your home becomes not just a place you live, but a place that lifts you higher. Let's go even deeper, not just into the rooms, but into the architecture of your home. Because your home is more than walls and furniture, it's an energetic reflection of your consciousness. Every home has a blueprint, and every blueprint holds a frequency. The layout of your home is a mirror of your psyche. The way energy flows or doesn't flow through your home reveals how energy is moving through you. Have you ever noticed that certain homes feel expansive while others feel constricted, even if they're the same size? That's not about square footage. That's about spiritual spaciousness. The architecture carries a story. Your job is to ask, what story is my home telling, and is it aligned with who I really am? Let's start with corners. Spiritually, corners are where stagnant energy hides. They are the dead zones of a house, the places most people ignore. Yet in traditional energy systems like feng shui or vastu, corners are considered portals of potential. If you leave them dusty, cluttered, or ignored, they begin to collect what I call energetic mold, thought forms, emotions, and ancestral residue that slow down your spiritual momentum. That's why a clean corner can sometimes feel like a breath of fresh air. It's not about minimalism, it's about energetic hygiene. Have you walked into a space and felt an inexplicable heaviness in just one corner? That's not your imagination, that's psychic residue. Let's move to the center of the home, what many traditions call the spiritual heart. In many ancient cultures, this central space was left open or treated as sacred. It was the core, the energetic axis. But in modern homes, it's often blocked with furniture, cut off by walls, or turned into a forgotten hallway. When the heart of the home is blocked, the entire energetic system becomes unbalanced. It's similar to how a blocked heart chakra affects the whole body. If you feel disconnected from joy, love, or emotional flow, ask yourself, what's happening at the center of my home? Is it welcoming? Is it open? Is it honored? Now let's look at staircases. In spiritual architecture, stairs represent ascension and descent. They symbolize movement between levels of consciousness. But if your staircase is steep, narrow, or visually overwhelming, it can subconsciously send a message of struggle. If the stairs creak, are dimly lit, or are cluttered, it may reflect a difficulty in moving between the levels of your own being, from body to mind to spirit. The way you move between floors mirrors how you transition between thoughts, emotions, and higher awareness. A harmonious staircase supports spiritual fluidity. A chaotic one enforces internal fragmentation. Windows are the eyes of the home. They represent clarity, vision, and insight. If your windows are dirty, small, or blocked by heavy curtains, it may be reflecting a fear of seeing clearly. Many people unconsciously block their windows because some part of them doesn't want to be seen or doesn't want to see the truth outside. But when you allow clean, natural light to pour in, you invite in truth consciousness. Light reveals what's been hidden. And when you can see clearly, you can choose clearly. Ask yourself, what am I afraid to look at, inside or out? Clean your windows, and you might be surprised at the clarity that shows up in your thoughts. The placement of your bed is also crucial. In spiritual terms, the bed is your dock in the sea of the astral. Every night, your soul disembarks from the body and travels through dreams, visions, or deep subconscious terrain. If your bed faces a mirror, sits under a window, or is placed between a door and window, known as the death position in feng shui, your soul may not feel safe to journey. You may experience disturbed sleep, nightmares, or fatigue. Your bed must feel like a sanctuary, not a battlefield. You must ask, does my spirit feel safe to rest here? If the answer is no, change the orientation. Your sleep is sacred, protect it. Closets again are sacred spaces of concealment, but they also represent our inner psyche, the places we hide ourselves from ourselves. A chaotic closet often reflects repressed identity, shame, or emotional denial. When you clean a closet, you're not just organizing clothing, you're reclaiming lost parts of yourself. You're saying, I no longer need to hide this. That's why so many people feel emotional after cleaning a closet or drawer. It's not just physical release, it's energetic unburdening. Go into your closet and ask, what part of me have I buried in here? You might be shocked at what you find, not just old clothes, but old versions of you waiting to be released. Finally, let's talk about thresholds, the literal and symbolic line between inside and outside. Your front door is more than just an entrance. It is your mouth in energetic terms. It's where you speak to the world and where the world speaks back. If your front door is blocked, dirty, squeaky, or rarely used, it may symbolize a closed throat chakra. You may struggle to express your truth, to be heard, or to allow life's blessings in. That's why intentional front door rituals are powerful. Sweep the entrance. Light a candle. Speak affirmations of welcome and protection. Say to the space, only truth, love, and alignment may enter here. When you say that with power, the universe listens.